divorced, and maybe you've shed some old friends. But whatever the situation may be, you are right now maybe feeling alone, maybe you're not feeling supported, or maybe you just know that you need a sisterhood. If that's your situation, this is the live for you, because in this month of May, as we are experiencing the month of me, the month where you show yourself radical self love and you have a radical love affair with yourself, it is extremely important for you to have a tribe. And if you are one of those people who have experienced, maybe you moved to a new location and you don't have any friends, maybe you lost your high school friends. You know, we typically maintain those high school relationships or college relationships. Maybe you divorced, and in the divorce, your friends didn't come along with you, or you need a new tribe, or maybe you're just in a season of growth and you know that you need to get into a new environment so that you can blossom the way that you need to. Whatever the case may be, you need a tribe, and I'm going to show you how to build it. I'm going to show you how you can find that tribe, how to nurture that tribe, and how to build that tribe so that you have the sisterhood that you need. If we can just be honest and real about the situation, we as women, we need a sisterhood. We need people who we can talk to, that we can go to. And I'm not talking about the old school friendships. See, some of us confuse what we were taught as kids or what we were not taught, because a lot of us were not taught what it means to have a friendship. We just began to engage with people, and then we called them our friend, and the one who was around the longest, they became our best friend because they were already there. Or the person who lived next door to you became your best friend because of proximity. Or perhaps you had a trauma bond, a situation where as a childhood maybe you all were bullied by the same kid, and so you all became friends, or you were on the same cheerleading team, and so we became friends and we just stayed in touch. And even though that's not really the healthiest of relationships, you've just maintained it. Well, we're going to do some work to make sure that we are maintaining positive and productive relationships, but also building and keeping positive and productive relationships. Many of us are nearing 40 or above, and it can be difficult to make new friendships and relationships. But what I want you to know is there are more types of relationships than just friendships. This is what many times clouds the way. This is what many times confuses us, because we think that we have to have a friendship when there are other types of relationships. So I'm going to talk to you about the 5 types of people that you need in your life. We're going to talk about where you're going to find them at, and how you're going to attract those people to you. Because you, as the main character in your life, you need a supporting cast. And you can't be this big star on the stage and your supporting cast can't hold you up. They can't take care of you. They can't keep the light shining on you. So many times we have to move out of those relationships. And if we can be honest, a lot of times we just leave the relationship. Hey, Monica. Hey, hey. Good morning. Good morning. And so we will, leave the relationship. We'll move to a new area and we don't hang out with our friends as much. You might go through a divorce and your other friends are still married. And so it creates an awkward situation. Maybe you went to a new job and all of your other friends were work friends. This is the time to evaluate that, because that's the main character. And remember, this is the month of me. You are the main character on the stage. Every main character needs supporting cast. And let me just say, those of us who are married, many times we will think that our spouse is all that we need. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. Your spouse should not be the end all be all for your relationships. You should not even expect one person to hold all of the roles in your life. You shouldn't expect that one person to take care of every situation, to be your listening ear, to be your advisor, to be your support. That's too much for any person. And for the person who only has that one best friend. That was me for a long time. I had one best friend for a long time. And as long as I had my best friend, I was good. But she had to bear the brunt of everything, just her. And that's not fair to that person. So I got a whole little page of notes here, and we're going to go through because I don't want you to rely on one person to fulfill all of those roles. So, the first question I'm going to ask you is, do you know the type of people that you need to attract? Right now, do you know the type of people that you need to attract in your life? What is it that you're looking for? You say that you're ready to build a tribe, you're ready for new relationships, you're ready to have some support in your life. Do you know what it is that you need to attract? And I want you to think back to what have you attracted in your life? What are the friends that you currently have? What are the characteristics that they currently have? Are they energy suckers? Are they time vampires? Do they drain you or do they give you a lot of energy? Do they push you forward? Do they encourage you to do the things that you are fearful to do? Can you share your deepest secrets with them to let them know what your aspirations are and what you're moving forward to? Are those the people that are already in your life? Because some of us already have those people in our lives. We just need to place them accordingly. Because I will tell you what, relationships fail typically because of these unannounced agreements that we have. Now, tell me if you can relate to this. So, you have these people in your life, and then they didn't come to your birthday party. And so now you're mad. They don't even know you're mad. And so you're done with them. They didn't get you a gift. They got everybody else a gift and they didn't get you a gift. And so you're done. I'm through with her. She didn't get me a gift. Maybe now I see this happen all the time. Somebody significant in your life passes, they go on to be an ancestor, and you all have the funeral services, and somebody doesn't come to the funeral. And so you dismiss that person from your life. We're no longer friends. We ain't cool no more. She didn't even have the time to come to my mama's funeral. She didn't even show up to my daddy's funeral. She didn't even show up. Did you dismiss them from your life? Or maybe they didn't call while you were sick. You've been in the hospital for a week and she didn't even call to check on you. See, a lot of times relationships fail because of these unannounced agreements. Did they know that this was supposed to be a role that they took into consideration? Were they aware that the expectation was for them to be there? See, because you talked about the party, but you didn't give them a personal invite. You just assumed everybody knew to come to your party. You just assumed it. Sometimes we assume that people are our best friend and they're not. We just decide, I talk to you all the time, and we just tell them, you my best friend. They didn't tell you you were their best friend. Sometimes we will invite people to our church. We'll invite people to church, and you didn't even ask to see. Maybe they don't believe in organized religion. They believe in God. They believe in a higher power. They believe in universe. They believe in spirit, but they don't believe in organized religion. And because you invited them and they didn't show up, oh, I invited her to church. She didn't show up. All I'm talking about is the number one reason why relationships fail is because of unannounced agreements. You have this understanding that the other person does not understand. You never communicated it, and you never checked to see if they understood the same thing that you understood was a part of being in relationship with you. And so we discard people. So let me just go into it. There are more relationships than a friendship. And to be honest, many have never seen a positive or healthy friendship. Can I be honest? Like, many of us have never seen a positive or healthy friendship. Many of us didn't have parents who had positive and healthy friendships. We had parents who, just sat on the phone and gossiped all day. We had parents who was always into it with their friends, arguing and clowning and backbiting and cussing and carrying on, whatever the situation may have been. We had parents who have a new friend every 6 months because they can't keep friends. And so then we think that that's the way relationships should be. Well, I'm here to tell you and help you to understand that there are 5 relationships that you need in your life, and there are a number of ways that you can get them. They don't have to be friendships. That's the first misconception that we need to debunk. It does remove the word friendship. This is not what this is. Your friend is the person who you grew up with, that you went to school with, that you went to college with, that lived on your street, whatever that friendship was. I'm talking to women who are nearing 40 and above. This is who I'm talking to. If you are a woman near 40 and above and you want to have the support that you need in your life, you want to live the life of your dreams, you want to go after your dreams and aspirations, I am sharing with you the 5 types of people that you need in your life. You ready? Y'all ready? So the first one, you need a comforter. A comforter. So that's someone who provides solace during tough times. You're having a tough time. They will listen without judgment. They will offer you a shoulder to lean on. They will provide a safe space for you. This is not somebody who you necessarily talk to every single day. This is not somebody who you call about every single thing. This is when you are having a tough time. You are going through it, you're in a situation, and you're not necessarily looking for advice. You just need some comfort. Do you know when you need comfort? Do you know when you've been doing something that's hard, that's exhausting, that is wearing you down, and you need somebody to comfort you? Many times, as high achievers, we don't even know that we need or deserve comfort. We believe that we got to push through. We got to be tough. We got to be strong. We got to be independent. No, you need someone to comfort you. And because many of us have never had that person to comfort us, or our spouse is the only person who has ever comforted us, or someone who we were in intimate relationship with, we don't know that we can have other people in our lives who serve that role. And I'm gonna tell you how to find these people. So don't give up on me yet. Number two, you need a confronter. Yep, you heard me. I know it sounds negative to begin with, but it's not a negative thing. You need someone who will confront you. This is essential, especially for high achieving women, and especially for Black women. They're going to give you the hard truth. I'm not talking about, sometimes it is our mother. Let me be clear. Sometimes it is our mother. Sometimes it's our auntie. But this is the person who points out blind spots. I'm not talking about somebody who make you feel bad, who talks down on you. This is a person who is going to tell you the truth. They are going to tell you the truth because they love you. They're not trying to belittle you. They're not trying to degrade you. They are going to do the tougher thing, which is to tell you the truth. And it's harder to tell you the truth than it is to lie to you. We can easily say, oh, that's a good idea, knowing in reality that this is the 89th idea that you've had. You have started 88 times and you have not finished one. This idea can be good, but are you going to follow through? What if you had somebody to tell you that maybe you wouldn't have done 88, maybe you'd have done the one and did it and got it right. So this is the person who holds you accountable. This is the person that's going to push you to be better. This is the key in this. So if you're writing this down, make sure that you're putting the keywords in. The confronter is the person who is going to give you the hard truths, who's going to point out your blind spots, who's going to hold you accountable. But it is essential that they are doing this to push you to be better. Number three, you need someone in the role of a counselor. This is a person who offers you wisdom. Now, this is a tricky one. The key to this is, I know some of y'all saying, oh, I got that person in my life. Listen up. They have to have walked the path before you. Somebody who is single can't counsel you in your marriage. Somebody who is broke cannot counsel you in your financial life. Somebody who never travels cannot counsel you when you're having a dilemma and you're out of the country. So a lot of times we will say that we have these people in our lives, but they have to have walked the path before you in order to be able to give you guidance and to help you to make these complex decisions. If they can't do that, they're not counseling you. They're just giving you bad advice and bad information. And so we need these people, and they come in different shapes and forms. And I'm going to tell you how you find these people as well. So number four, the challenger. You need a challenger, which is different from a confronter. So if you have confronter down, this next one, number four, is challenger, which is different. Let me tell you how it's different. They're going to push you out of your comfort zone. They're going to get you to take new risks and try new things. They're going to stretch your limits. They're going to try to get you to do things that are out of your comfort zone. You need somebody in your life to push you out of your comfort zone. You really do. And here's the key to this one. They're not just trying to get you to do it because they are adventurous and spontaneous. They believe in you more than you believe in yourself. They know that you can do it. You don't believe that you can do it. And so they are going to challenge you and push you out of your comfort zone to try a new experience in the effort to stretch you, to make you greater, to make you more. It's not just for the thrill of the adventure. So you need a challenger. And the last type of relationship you need in your life is number 5, a celebrator. So this is a person, they celebrate every win, big or small. When you call and you say, "Oh, I just got my topic for this conference just got accepted." They are celebrating. "Oh, that is so amazing. That's so good. Oh my goodness, you should be so proud of yourself." You need that person. You need that person. Every win, big or small, they're like your little cheerleader. They're your cheerleader. They're going to cheer you on. And they are that person who is truly going to remind you of how far you've truly come. Okay. So you got your 5 roles, but let's talk a little bit deeper about how it is that you're going to attract these people. So, first of all, I want you to look at your phone. Look at your phone, your cell phone. Grab your phone. Look at your phone. Look at your call log. Go ahead, take a look at your call log. Let's be honest now. Go look at your call log. You see my call log? There's my call log. And when you look down that call log, I want you to see on that call log, which one of these people would serve as my confronter? Who are my comforters on here? You can have more than one in these roles. Who is my confronter? Who is my comforter? Who is my counselor? Who is my challenger? And who is my celebrator? Now, remember the qualifications for this. So when you look at it, your comforter needs to provide a safe space for you. Who is that person? They need to listen without judgment. They need to offer a shoulder to lean on. Who is your confronter? Looking in your call log. Let's be real now. Your confronter. This is not negative. This shouldn't be negative people. Anybody who's negative doesn't qualify for any of this that we're talking about. You're a confronter. They give you the hard truth. They point out blind spots. They hold you accountable. So they can't just point out blind spots and not hold you accountable. See, a lot of us, that's what our parents do. They'll point out the blind spots, but they don't hold us accountable. They don't push us to be better. And especially at these big ages that we're at. They'll say, "Girl, you done gained a whole bunch of weight. You done got big. Come on over here and eat this food. Come on, I cooked you some dinner. I cooked you some greens, some black-eyed peas, some fried chicken, some cornbread." Then they talk about how fat you are. That's not a confronter. See, a lot of us, we don't understand that those are not confronters because they're not pushing us to be better and they're not holding us accountable. And then who is your challenger in your phone? This is the person who helps you to stretch your limits. They get you to take new risks. Who's your counselor? They offer wisdom and advice, but they've also traveled the path that you're on. And if you don't have these people, that's fine. We're going to talk about how to get these people. So that's okay. And then who is your celebrator? Who do you call for celebration? Okay, so now that you've looked through your call log and you figured out either you have those people or you don't. How many of us can be honest in the comments to say, "I don't have those people," or "I need to build my tribe," or "I need a new tribe," or "I have an amazing tribe," or "This is right on point. This is exactly what I need because I'm building this now." So be honest in the comments. Tell me where you are in this. And so, as you think about what type of tribe member that you're looking for, what type of sisterhood are you looking to build? What are the type of people that you want? Because I can give you the descriptions, but you know what type of people that you want. And I can only use myself for example. So for me, the type of people who I wanted to attract into my life, the type of people that I desire to have in my life. And keep in mind, I have 4 sisters. We have amazing relationships. I have a best friend who I've been best friends with for over 40 years. We have a great relationship. I have lots of other associates and business people who I hang out with, okay? But my criteria was that when I began to do this work, I wanted someone who was good spirited. They had a good spirit. They had a positive spirit. They exude positivity. But I also wanted someone who was fun. I wanted to have more fun. So I wanted someone who was fun. I also wanted someone who was spontaneous, because I'm a person who, I schedule everything, I book everything, I live by my calendar. Everything is planned, prepped, and ready to go. Monica says, I need to build one. Come on, Monica, let's build it. Girl, come on, let's build it. So begin, write your list now, because we got to know what we're going to attract. Monica, we got to know what we're going to attract. So I wanted to attract someone who had a good spirit. And let me be really clear. Let me be really clear. And I know some of y'all, this is going to go over your head, because it's a lot of stuff that's going on out here. And I've been in a bunch of circles. And so when I say good spirited, I meant good spirited. I didn't want you to have that evil spirit. I didn't want you to be a devil worshiper. I didn't want you to be practicing witchcraft and all of those things. This is just what I wanted to attract. Now, if you want to attract that, that's on you. I'm not judging you, but I'm being clear to you so that you can see how much clarity you need to have when you're making this list. I wanted someone who was positive, because there are people who are positive who still worship Satan, who still practice, do all these things. I just didn't want that. I wanted to stay clear on what it was that I wanted. And then I wanted someone who was going to have fun. I wanted someone who was spontaneous. I wanted someone who was open and open-minded. I wanted someone who was free. That should have been first on my list. I wanted someone who was free, who was not so strict to adhering to cultural and societal norms. I wanted them to be free. I wanted them to have freedom of their time, freedom of their energy. I wanted them to be a free person, and also wanted them to be empowered. I didn't want someone who is looking for somebody to come save them, or waiting on other people to be the relief. I wanted someone who was aligned spiritually with me. So that doesn't mean you have to do what I do or believe what I believe, but we can be in alignment spiritually, meaning we believe in a higher power, and we believe in the power of the tongue, and that we believe that we can manifest whatever we want in our lives. That's all. I'm not, you can be Catholic, you can be Jewish, you can be whatever you need to be. But as long as we're aligned spiritually, I wanted someone who had an abundant mindset. I didn't want to attract someone who had a poverty mindset or a poor mindset. And I also wanted them to be open-minded, to be willing to explore different options, and also to realize that some of the things that we have learned was wrong, that it no longer works. And so once I figured out what it was I wanted, then here's the hard question. Y'all ready for this hard question? Do you have those traits? Do you have those traits? Because you can't attract what you are not. How about that? You can't attract what you are not. So then that's where my work began. I said, okay, I need to make sure that I'm good spirited. I need to make sure that I'm positive. I need to make sure that I'm fun, that I'm spontaneous, that I'm open, that I'm free, that I'm empowered, that I know what my spiritual alignment is. I need to make sure that I work from an abundant mindset, and I need to make sure that I'm open-minded, not just in front of these people, but at all times, so that I can attract them to me, because I don't know when I'm going to meet them, but I need to be the person that I want to attract to me. So now we're going to talk about how can you create these in different ways. So you're probably saying to yourself right now, when you look through your phone, and like Monica says, I need to build one. Okay, so these are the different ways that you can create them, because some people don't realize that we're going to build it. Like, we're building this. Some of it you're going to pay for, some of it you're going to attract, some of it you're going to create. So these might be, you might have a counselor in your life. Like, you might be going to see a therapist or a life coach. They get to be your comforter. They might be your confronter, because you go to therapy. It might be your medical doctor. It might be your pastor. It might be, you might have an empowerment coach. If you know you need this person in your life, be willing to do what you need to do to get the person in your life. You might go to marriage retreats to find a couple for you all to hang out with, so that you can get wisdom from them, an older couple. Me and my husband, we met a couple who had been married for 54 years. My husband and I have been married for 24 years. So it was great to come in communion with someone who's been married double the time that we've been married. You might use your financial advisor, because you got to think about the different things that you'll need in your life. If you have hobbies, you can find people who are aligned in hobbies. So you come together because you have these hobbies, or you are part of a certain club or a sorority. Maybe you're going to go to different conferences, women empowerment conferences. Maybe it's entrepreneur conferences. Maybe it's school conferences, whatever it may be. And in this day and age, we have all of these online groups. You can be a part of that. But the most important thing is that you got to get out the house. Most of this is not going to happen inside the house. Let me tell you, I hear a lot of people, and I hope this is not you, but if it is, this is a chance for you to take a bit of self-awareness and to make some changes. A lot of people think that their hairstylist is their counselor. So we're sitting there for 3 or 4 hours. You're venting to her, telling her all about what's going good, what's going wrong in your life. She's giving you advice, and we think that our hairstylist is our counselor. The key to the counseling part is, have they walked the path before you, and did they do it well? And I'm not saying that your hairstylist did not, but a lot of times we get relationships confused because we give people these assigned relationships that they're not qualified to be in. I don't know if that's making sense, but let me tell you what you need to do in order to build these relationships. First of all, you got to know the characteristics that the people need to have, that you're looking to attract to you. You're attracting this to you. You're not going out in search of it. All you have to do is embody the things that you're looking for, and it will attract to you. So you first, number one, got to be yourself. You need to be authentic. Here's the problem. We become this other person when we go out in public. We show up as somebody else, and then you attract that other kind of person. You're not being yourself. It's okay. If you're weird, be your weird self. You're going to attract people who appreciate your weirdness. They should know your quirks. When they meet you and interact with you, you should be being yourself. You should not be showing up as someone else. So show your true personality. Most people know, who go out with me, who hang with me, I got a lot of quirks. I got a lot of hangups, and they're aware of it, and they accept me the way that I am. They know that I don't eat anything that looks like what it is. That's crazy. I also have texture issues. I'm not eating anything that's soft and mushy and the wrong texture. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I got a lot of little quirks, a lot of little pet peeves, and they accept that. And I say it out loud. I tell them I'm not doing anything that's gonna possibly kill me. If you got the daredevil energy, I'm not doing that, and they accept it. So be yourself, be authentic. I laugh the same way online as I do in person, as I do with my friends. If you got to do a different laugh when you're out, if you talk in a different way when you're out, there are some things that are going wrong. You're not being yourself. Number two, you got to be willing to be vulnerable. There's a difference between being private and hiding parts of yourself. There is a difference. There is a difference. So being private, I think I'm a pretty private person. I'm a pretty private person, but I'm also not hiding parts of myself. I think that there are things that should be kept in the home, and then things that are for public consumption. I don't think that relationships should be online. That I just don't. And that's my opinion. And so there are some things that should be in private, and then other things that are public consumption. But that's different from being vulnerable. Like, one of my things that I do when I'm scared or fearful about something, I make it known to my tribe. I let them know I'm scared to do this. This is scaring me to death. Girl, my biggest fear right now is having to show up on this stage. Girl, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, because the sooner I say it, the sooner they can help me through it. That's one of the benefits of having a tribe. You have to be vulnerable. You need to be able to say, I messed this up. I don't know what to do. I don't know how I got in this situation. You got to be able to say, I did the dumbest thing, and I just got to deal with it right now, and be willing to share it. Be vulnerable. But if you're never vulnerable, if you always got the answer, you're always well put together, you always got everything pulled up, bundled up tight, ready to go, how can anybody ever help you? How can anybody ever get to know you? How can that be beneficial for anybody to be able to support you? You're the main character, but you have a supporting cast, and they're there to help you shine brighter. So you can't be the only one trying to make your light shine. Number 3, you got to expect great outcomes. I talk to women all the time, and I'm just going to be honest. I be talking to black women, and black women say, girl, you know, when you trying to be with these women, they backstabs. That's what you're attracting. That's what you're attracting. You have not been in positive, healthy relationships because you have not created a positive, healthy relationship. You have to show up as that person. And you cannot show up into these relationships thinking that you're going to talk about your spouse, your kids, your work, your leisure, your physical, your spiritual. All of this is too much for one person to bear. And that's part of the problem. We find someone new, we're attracted, energetically attracted to one another. We get to talking, things go well, it's going amazing. You talk a couple of times, and then you get to talking about all types of other stuff, and the person doesn't respond the way you wanted them to respond. There was this unannounced expectation, and now the relationship, you feel slighted. You don't think that they or you dismiss them, or whatever the situation may be. You got to let people know your quirks. I tell people all the time, I am not the person who's going to respond to your text messages. Look, if you looking for me to give you an immediate response back, be mad at me right now. Get mad, right? And I tell them, get mad at me now, because I don't keep my phone with me. I might be in the kitchen and my phone is in the bedroom. And I might not go back to grab that phone for another 4 or 5 hours, because I'm not a digital native. So I wasn't born with a phone in my hand. So I don't let a phone keep me hostage. I'm a free person. So I put the phone down, I go on about my day, and I come back and check the text message. It might be 4 or 5 hours later. And then I respond back. Sometimes I respond in my head. I don't even respond back. I thought I responded. I responded in my head. I don't know if anybody else do that, but I'll be like, oh, I responded to that, didn't I? They'll be like, no, Chanel, you didn't respond to the text message. Oh, well, I responded in my head. You got to know Chanel may not respond back to your text message, but she don't mean no harm. You got to be that person who's going to call and say, girl, I sent you a message, or don't even send me a message, because I'm probably not going to respond. And so be yourself, be authentic, be willing to be vulnerable, and expect great outcomes. When you go into the relationship, go in expecting to have a great time. Don't overwhelm the person. Don't be worried about what they're thinking. Don't be thinking, oh, she gonna be nice for a little while, then she gonna change up on me. Number 4, you got to practice forgiveness. Yep, and it starts with yourself. If you're the person who can't forgive yourself for stuff that you've done, how you gonna forgive somebody who you're in relationship with? How you gonna forgive them? If you can't forgive yourself, how you gonna forgive them? See, this is where a lot of this comes from. The reason why we can't build our tribe, the reason why we don't have the supporting cast that we need, the reason why we don't have the roles in our life, the relationships in our life that we need to allow us to be the big shining light that we are, is because we're so hard on ourselves. We expect perfection from ourselves, and so we expect it from everybody else too. When you mess up, you should be able to say, oh, I messed that up real good. All right, well, got to go on. I forgive myself. And then it's easy for you to forgive other people when they mess up. They didn't come to the party. Oh, girl, I didn't know. You didn't send me no invite. I ain't talked to you in 3 weeks. I totally forgot. Oh, I understand that. Next time I'll make sure I get you an invite, and I forgive you. All right, move on. So you gotta practice forgiveness, and it starts with yourself. Number 5, you gotta know what you need and want. That goes back to that list that we created. Know what you need and want. What type of relationship, what type of people are you trying to attract? Because you all out here are willy-nilly just letting anybody in your life. And that's how you end up in all of these downhill, downtrodden relationships, because you just let anybody in. You didn't know what you needed, and then people showed up, and then you just took them in, and you was like, oh, she like me, I like her, we cool, we can twerk together, everything good. No, you took anybody in. And then you got to communicate the role of the relationship. I think this is the biggest one. Like, when you begin communicating with someone and y'all kicking it, what is the role that they play? Why won't you tell them? Why do we just go along to get along? Why do we do that? And so I will say to people, I think we have a really great connection. We're energetically aligned. I would love to be able to call you when I have issues or when I need somebody to point out my blind spots for me. When I'm having a situation, I would love to be able to call you to get your opinion or advice on this. And you tell them what their role is. Oh my goodness, you know how to party good. When I have big things that happen in my life, is it okay for me to call you and share it with you, and we work to celebrate it together? Because I'm not all that great at doing celebrations or taking the time to celebrate myself. So is it okay if I call you sometimes? Most times people are okay with that. And I just want us to know that you got to communicate the relationship. You cannot assign people roles and they don't know what the roles are. They don't know what the expectation is. And so then as soon as they let you down, you dismiss them and you say, this why I don't mess with women. See, this why I don't get in these relationships, because people always let you down. No, you let yourself down because you had an expectation that was not communicated or agreed upon. You created that on your own. And so let me just tell you real quickly, like some of the relationships that I have in my life. And I'm hoping that we can all have this, because I think that I have a great supporting cast. I'm always looking to enlarge my circle. But like I said, I have my best friend. We've been friends for 40 something years. She lives right around the corner from me. I have my book friends. My best friend is not my book friend. Like, I share books with her that I'm reading, but she's not the one who's gonna sit down, read the book, and we're gonna have dialogue about it. She ain't that person. She's a smart lady. She's a school teacher too, but she's not that lady. Like, her day and her time is set up way different than my day and my time. And I just enjoy reading. I'm an English major. She wasn't an English major, and it's a reason why she wasn't an English major. So I have my book friends who, when I'm reading books, I always send them the book that I'm reading. When they're reading books, they always send me the book that I'm reading. We all order them on Audible, and then we have little messages and little calls and stuff about the book. Sometimes we'll go to brunch and talk about the book. We'll get on the phone and talk about the book, or don't let it be a good line in the book, and we'll highlight it, and then we'll send a message, say, come on, let's talk about this. So I have my book friends, and then I have my TV series friends. Like, I'm a Bridgerton girl. I love Bridgerton. So it's coming out on May 13th. I've already had people calling me saying, hey, Chanel, Bridgerton start next week. What day you watching? And we're already getting ready. Like, we're going to watch it, and then we're going to talk about each episode. And they already know you can't tell what's going to happen if I ain't watched the other episode. But they're counting on me to watch it just like I'm counting on them, because that's a part of our relationship. That's what we do. We don't do the other stuff. We just watch the shows together and talk about the shows. Then I have my accountability partners. These are people who I talk to regarding business goals that I have. We meet every other Monday night. We used to meet every Monday night. Now we meet every other Monday night. And my accountability partners, they hold me accountable for what it is that I said I'm going to do. We have people who are at all levels. We have someone who has been extremely successful financially, and then we have people who are just now getting their business going. We have people who have had their business for a number of years, 10 years, and still isn't making a lot of money. And then we have people who have had quick, fast success. It's 5 of us in total. All of us are at a different level. And so those are my accountability partners. I then have my entrepreneur friends. These are people who also own their own businesses, who many of them are consultants or whatever their business might be. But I can talk to them when I'm having like a business problem, or they just, you don't feel alone. Like, I talked to this one lady, we talk about once a month or once every 2 months, and we intentionally schedule time together so that we can talk about what's going on in our life, what's going on in our business, what we are struggling with, what fun we've been having. And so I have these entrepreneurs that I hang out with. If there's a big conference that, they'll call and say, are you going to this? You getting a ticket to this? Where are you flying into? We had one in San Diego. And so they were sending, like, one person wanted to go to the conference in San Diego. She sent it to me. I sent it to somebody else. She sent it to somebody else. It ended up being 6 of us going to this conference in San Diego. The conference was something that we all needed for our business, on scaling our business, but it ended up 6 of us going there. And then we were able to do the work that we learned from the conference together in a group, as opposed to separate by ourselves. So you can have your entrepreneur group. I have my travel buddies, those who, and keep in mind, we don't talk every day. None of these people do I talk to every day, not even my best friend. I don't even talk to my best friend every day. So I have my travel buddies when it's time to go. Like I've already let some of my travel buddies know, December, we up. We up in December. You ain't got a plan. All you got to do is be willing to pay. I'm going to do all of the planning. Everybody good with where with the location. They all say they're good with the location. We travel. Somebody else sends, they'll say, hey, next year, let's work to go to, what did they send? Dubai. They sent, let's go to Dubai next year. And then it began a conversation of, I don't know if we're ready for Dubai. They got a lot of rules. They got a lot of stuff. We need to do a bit more investigation in that. Let's hold off on Dubai. And so you got to have these travel people. One of my travel groups is going to Belize. We'll be going to Belize. And so those are my travel buddies. That's all we do. I also have my brunch buddies. These are people who I just go to brunch with. At brunch, we're just talking leisure. We're just talking social. Hey, girl, what's going on? What you been up to? Woo, girl, you know these kids get on my nerves. Girl, look here. If my husband don't get on my nerves this week, those are our leisure people. We go to brunch. These ladies, we try to go to brunch at least once a month. A lot of times we end up going more than that just because brunch is our thing. But we're just hanging out. It's not heavy. It's lighthearted. They also, during those times, you get some of the counseling, you get some of the comforting, you get to have a little fun. But all of these people embody the characteristics. And then I have my workout health nut people. These are people who their health is their number one priority. Their health is number one. Anything that I need to know about health, one of them got me right now on B12. Got me right now on B12. You know, she was like, Chanel, you're getting older. You know, your body is changing. Let's get you some B12. Let's get you some D3. And she did all of the stuff. We had conversation. She's a health nut. I love it. I'm not a health nut. I love it. So I got to have these people in my life. And so this is how you build your tribe. And so when I go through my phone and I look at the people who are in my life, when people who are energy drainers, people who are negative, people who are always in a crisis, people who feel like they're a victim, stuff is always happening to them. They don't have any control over their lives. You know, it's everybody else's fault. They feel like they're stuck, or always talking like they can't move forward because this invisible force is holding them. Those people drain me. Those people exhaust me. I can't call and get no help from them. I can't call and get no support from them, but their number is all up and through my phone. I can't get nothing from them. They're getting from me. So they are depleting me. So I need to get people in my life who can fill me up, who can provide energy for me, who can support me, who can help me to shine brighter than I already do. Let me give you this warning. Because some of y'all gonna go out and do these things. And that's beautiful. That's amazing. I want you to do these things. But be warned, when you do it, you might be turned off. Because listen to me. Don't hang up on me now because you want to hear this part. This happened to me. That's the only reason why I'm telling you this. So you want this person or these people, you want to attract them into your life. And so you attract them in. You go to an event, you go to a conference, you are a part of a club, and you are there. You are being your good spirited, positive, fun, free, open, abundant self. And so you attract these people to you, and y'all exchange numbers. You do your little hi hello card, and you exchange numbers, and you say, we're gonna keep in touch, let's do a coffee chat. And y'all do a coffee chat, and things are still going good. And then the person starts doing stuff. They start to call you or send you messages. They maybe sent you something to your house. Maybe they sent you some flowers, or you talked about something you were looking for and they went out and found it for you and sent it to you. Maybe they connected you with some people. Maybe they helped you with a project that you were working on. You know what we tend to do? Let's be honest. We'll say, they being too nice. This a scam. They being too nice. I don't know. She too giving. She always sending me stuff. She always trying to buy me stuff. She always trying to pay. She do too much for me. She do too much for me. They are loving on you too hard, and you feel like you are being love bombed because, and these are platonic relationships. I'm talking about platonic relationships. You have desired these things, you have attracted it to you, and then when you receive what that feels like, you get confused and you push it away because you feel like they being too nice. They doing this for a reason. They trying to get something out of me. She too giving. She doing too much. She love bombing me. Oh, she too positive. She too healthy. No, no, no. See, because we're not accustomed to those positive, healthy relationships. And so when it comes at you from a person who is whole and healed or is continually healing, we can't believe that they are doing these things from the kindness of their heart and not looking for something in return. We can't believe that they are feeding into us and not expecting anything back. And so we instantly begin to think in the negative way. We instantly begin to push them away. We instantly begin to try to investigate to see why she doing all this. I don't like how that feels. Why she steady texting me? Why is she steady calling me? And so you have to beware that, like for me, I wanted somebody who was good spirited and positive and fun and spontaneous and open and free and empowered and abundant mindset and aligned spiritually. Well, guess what? For that person to exist, they're going to have a big personality. They're going to have a big personality, folks. I don't have a big personality. I don't. I don't. They are going to stand out in a crowd because these are free people. They are good spirited. They've been this way. They've done the work. They are not looking and worried about people judging them. They don't adhere to cultural and societal norms. They don't follow what is your standard rule. They understand that those rules were not meant for them. They were meant for you. They were not meant for them. And so this person who I'm attracting likely is going to have a big personality. They're likely going to stand out in a crowd. They're likely going to be a social butterfly. Remember, I said I wanted somebody fun and spontaneous. So they're likely going to be very extroverted. They're likely going to have lots of friendships and lots of relationships because they have the personality that attracts a lot of people to them. So they have a lot of these attributes. And so they know how to manage 10, 15 relationships at a time. But me, little old Chanel, I don't know how to manage 10, 15 relationships at one time because I can barely answer the text message that you send me. I can barely take your call because when I'm in my work, I'm in my work. When I'm hanging with my husband, I'm hanging with my husband. But this person has already mastered that. So I want to warn you that you're going to get what you ask for, but what are you willing to do to maintain the relationship? And what are you going to do to prevent yourself from pushing those people away from you? Because that's what tends to happen. Once we get intentional and we get clear, listen here, ladies, I'm telling you, nobody should love you more than you love yourself. And in order to show yourself self-love, you have to have a supporting cast around you. If you think that it is great to be in this world alone, it is not. You do not have to do this alone. You do not. If you want to have a thriving life, a thriving business, a thriving family, if you want to thrive yourself, you need to do and have in your life the things that will make your life easier. And if you are making your life easier, that means that you're not doing it alone. And so we have to stop thinking that there are no good relationships out here. It's just that you want one relationship to have all of the roles. I'm encouraging you to create a supporting cast around you. Some of that supporting cast you're going to pay for. Some of it will be organic, and some of it you will seek out. Hey, eat and work out. Hey, hey. And so we have to make sure that we are creating and building. Stop waiting on people. Build what it is you need. And if you don't have it, like Monica says, I need to build one. She's aware when she looks through her phone, the people who she talked to do not have the attributes that she's looking for. That does not mean she's going to discard them. that means she needs to add to it, because I'm sure they serve a purpose as well. But we need to add in the things that we are missing. You should not feel alone, and you should feel fulfilled. And I can tell you this, you are not alone and feeling fulfilled. That's not the way we were created. We were meant to be in a sisterhood. You can build your sisterhood. I'm telling you, it's so relieving, it's so refreshing, it's so reinvigorating when you have people in your life who can support you, who can help you, who can help you when you're in a bind, who can give you credible and usable advice. Let's be honest, who can loan you money, honey? Because we know we don't have people in our lives who can loan us money. We don't have people who we can call and talk to about a situation and they give you real advice that you can use. Because we're that one for most people. When they want to run something past you, they need you to help them to solve a problem. We're the ones who are solving the crisis for everybody. But while we are solving their crisis situation, who's helping us to solve ours? And then we got to show up all put together like ain't nothing wrong. Everything's on 10. No, it's not true. We got to stop this facade. We got to stop it. All we have to do is determine and say, I'm going to build a tribe. I'm going to build the support that I need. And then we got to understand the relationships that we need. It's not one person, it's a multitude of people. And it's not people that you talk to every single day. It's not people who you talk to every single day. You might only talk to them once a month, once every 6 months. You might only talk to them once a year. It's okay, because you all understand this is our relationship. And then you got to get the rubbish out of your ears, the people who are have never had healthy relationships. You can't build a healthy relationship if you've never seen one or never had one. So that's automatically work that we have to do. If you think that Black women can't get along, I'm here to tell you, you are hurt and need to heal. There are lots of Black women circles, Black women relationship. I hang out with nothing but Black women. I have some white friends, but most of my people who I hang out with are Black or minority. Okay, they may be, look, we're not gonna go into all that, but all I'm saying is you gotta have the people. When I go through and share with you, these are the type of people I hang out with. I have people that I can go to. I have people who value me, and I have people who I value, and they hold a role in my life. They're aware of the role that they hold, and I don't expect for my husband to be the end all be all of everything. I don't come and dump everything on him. I don't tell, like, we want to say that our spouse is our best friend, but think about what it means to be your best friend. That means that they have to be everything. They got to be your comforter, they got to be your counselor, they got to be your confronter, they got to be your celebrator, they got to be everything. That's a lot for one person to have to do. And it's a fallacy. It's a myth. We should not be falling into that at our big ages. The reason why people have moved into new states, I talk to women all the time and they say, I moved and I ain't been able to make a friend. You know why? Because I bet it's something on this list that I shared with you. You haven't been able to make a friend because you don't have any hobbies. When you do that hobby, you can't just do it at home. I craft, so I just stay at home crafting. That's not the way that works. If you're in clubs, have you gone to any of the meetings? Have you done any of the events? And what are you attracting? You attract what you put out. So if you're negative, if you're gossiping, if you're always mad, if you always complaining, guess what? That's what you're going to attract. So we got to do the work on ourselves first. We got to figure out what it is we need to build. What are the roles we need to supplement? And we need to start building it. Some of them will be paid. Some of us just need to get a therapist. Like, let's be honest. Some of us need a life coach. It's okay. We're in 2024. It's okay. Some of us, we may have the relationship with our pastor. Some of us need to get an empowerment coach, someone who is going to help us to be the biggest version of ourselves. Some of us need to get into some mentorship. You need a mentor. If you don't have a mentor right now in several areas of your life, what are you really doing? If you know that these are keys to success, you need a mentor. Who's mentoring you financially? Who's mentoring you spiritually? Who's mentoring you in your relationships? It's a lot of ways and a lot of areas that we need mentors in. And it's not the same person. You shouldn't have one person. I have financial people who I talk to. I have other couples who have been married for many years that I talk to. I have people. You gotta have these people. I don't like. I need us to understand this. It's not a one person show. One person cannot do all of the things that you need in order to support you as you are on stage. She said, she said, ding dong, Dr. D. Hello, hello. Hey, hey, girl. Hey, hey. So I want us to just make sure that we are fulfilling our life with the support that we need and that you go out here and you build these relationships because here's the truth of the matter. Like me and my friend, we had this conversation. One of us is going to have to bury the other one. Like more than likely, one of us gonna have to bury the other one. So when my best friend dies or I die and I've been her best friend for 40 something years, what does that do to her life? If I'm the only person that she ever talks to and she's now divorced and she has three children, I'm sorry, she has three children. What happens when I die? What happens to my life when she dies? Because one of us are going to have to bury the other one. That's just nature, unless we die together. And we're going to hope that we're not dying together. And then when we talk about our spouse, women, you already know it's more likely that your husband is going to die before you. And when you put all of your eggs in that one basket of your husband, and then he passes and you are left alone because you didn't build any relationships. You put all of your eggs in that one basket, and then he's gone on to be an ancestor. He's gone on to glory. What are you left with? Now you want to go back to some of those relationships that you destroyed, that you left, that you stepped out of, that you never fed into. And then you wonder why the people are not going to move you up on the totem pole. You're going to stay at the bottom of the list. But if we will build the relationships, if we will build the tribe that we need now, we all need a sisterhood. If you are a woman, you are meant to be in a sisterhood. And in that sisterhood, you get to build it. And for those people who have sisters, like some of us had healthy sibling relationships and some of us didn't. Don't base your sisterhood off of the relationship that you had with your blood bearing sisters because it's not the same. And so I want us to really think about people are going to die. Your circle is going to be depleted. You have to be constantly filling those roles and having stand-ins and fill-ins and people who are ready to step up to the next segment, to the next level. But if you're not nurturing those relationships, if you're not initiating any of those relationships, if you're not doing anything to grow any of these relationships, we're going to be old and alone. That doesn't mean that we're lonely, but we're going to be old and alone. And I want us to all live fabulous lives. I want us to all have the people that we want and desire in our lives, the types of relationships that we desire, and doing the things that we want to do. Y'all, I don't know what y'all think about retirement, but I have a whole new understanding of retirement. Retirement means that I get to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And so I don't have to go to a job that pays me and show up at certain times. It also doesn't mean that I don't have to work. I want to be able to do a retreat. I want to be able to do a live event. I want to go be able to do maybe one speaking event a month. I can do that at 60. I can do that at 70. I can show up and speak, pay me to speak, and add some extra income. Plus, I love giving back, feeding into other people. I can do that. And guess what? I want to travel. I want to be able to hang with my friends. I want to have my movie crew. Think about it. We're at this point, 10 years from now, we'll all be done with what we call traditional work. And so we got to have lives. I want to have my brunch crew. Every Tuesday we meet at this restaurant. It gives us something to look forward to. I saw too many older people in my life. I don't know about y'all. I'm talking about my life, where when they retired, they went home, they didn't do much of anything. They volunteered at the church, but they didn't, that their life was not exciting. It didn't make me say, "Oh, I can't wait to retire." It was like, "Oh, they boring." They watch the same shows on TV. They watch the soap operas. They go volunteer at church. That's not exciting to me. I want things to look forward to. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to contribute and be of value. I want to continue to be able to build even as I get older. But I also want to be able to rest. I also want to be able to have fun. So I do want to travel. I do want to experience new things. I do want to have my brunch dates. I do want to have my standing movie date. I do want to have my annual girls trip. I do want to have my book club. I want to do these things. You got to have people to do this stuff. You can't do this stuff by yourself. You can, but it won't be as much fun. It won't be as much fun. So I don't know if this was helpful to y'all, but I'm telling you, as we're building the month of me, as we're going through, this is day 6 of the month of me, of you having a radical love affair with yourself. I advise you to put this on your list, begin to work on this now, so that as we move through the month of May, you'll have something to think about. You'll have something that you're working towards. And then as you're interacting with people and working on yourself, you will also see how you can put these people in positions in your life and have these conversations. And you're going to feel so much better just to know I have somebody that I can call. It's so relieving to me to know that I have somebody that I can call when I need somebody to just be the shoulder for me to lean on, for me to be able to talk to. I've had a stressful situation. I got a good girlfriend that I can call. She's a trained, well, everybody doesn't have to be a trained counselor. Let me say that. It just so happens that she's a trained counselor, and she will listen. She won't judge you, and she won't try to give you any advice. She will help you to process through your feelings, and she will let you know it's okay. We all go through this. Girl, take your time. Take you some breaths. Girl, come on, let's have us a good cry. Let's move on. And we don't try to sweep it under the rug. It feels so good to have those people that you can call and that you can talk to and get things off your chest and know that you're not going to be judged about it. It feels so good to have someone who I can vent to. I have a best friend who I can call. I can vent to the appropriate person and talk about things, especially family dynamics. Like, we have sisters who piss us off. And I get to call my best friend and be like, let me tell you what she did today. Oh, she get on my nerves with that. And she will listen, and she already knows at the end of the day, I love my sisters. At the end of the day, we're going to kick it. We're going to kiki. We're going to kaka. She already knows this. And she already knows my sisters. And so I can vent with her. You got to have people, and they need to understand what their role is, but you also have to communicate it, and you can't just keep cutting people out. But most of us need to create the environment that we need. I hope this has been helpful. I'll see y'all tomorrow on day 7 of the month of me. And let's get